My name's Scott Benefield. I'm a glassblower.
And my name's Andrea Spencer, and I'm a flame worker.
All the work that I've made for the last 20 years has been kind of in the tradition of Venetian glass blowing, which is made on the island of Murano in Venice. There are different world traditions, sort of glass centers that came up in Bohemia, or here in England and Ireland, or Germany, or Sweden. But the Italian tradition is about 1,000 years old, and they've always made very sort of light, thin glass that has a certain immediacy to it, in that they don't really labor over the glass. Everything is made when it's hot, when it's fluid, and when it's moving, so there's no engraving or cutting or painting on it after it's cold. So everything's done while it's hot. And that the result of that is they became virtuoso glass blowers, that technically they were very, very accomplished. But the aesthetic that followed that was very interesting, because it emphasized the hand skills and the, that fragile nature of glass.
Originally, I started out in architectural glass when I studied in Edinburgh College of Art and Architectural Glass, and then when I moved over here and started working in glass, it was a few years before I got interested in flame working, and really I got interested in that because I was traveling with Scott in America, and he was teaching, and there was an opportunity for me to take a class in flame working. And I had an idea in my head of something that I wanted to make, and I took that class and got really hooked on it then. And so the kind of work that I make in flame working is quite detailed and delicate kind of work, and it's very organic in its forms. I'm interested in natural forms and inspired a lot by nature, and flame working is a perfect medium for that, because you're working almost with your fingertips, very closely with the glass in the flame, as opposed to here at the furnace you're working at the end of a longer pipe. So you can get achieve a lot of high scale detail in that, and that's what kind of fascinates me.
But I think that what's held my attention for so long is actually the material and the process. When I started blowing glass, it's such a physically challenging process to work with, and not in the sense that it takes a lot of strength, but it takes a lot of attention, because the glass is always changing its state. It's going from a liquid in the furnace to slowly becoming a solid as it cools down, and then it heats up again. And you can't put it down and have a think about it. You have to stay very much attached to what's going on right at that moment and make decisions. So that's what's rewarding, to challenge yourself, to get better, to understand it in a different way. And that's a big part of it. And I think anybody who works with hot glass would say the same thing.
Yeah, the reason I do this is because of the endless fascination with working with the material. It's just the endless fascination, really, of just taking glass, especially working with it hot and melting it in the flame. It's just such a fascinating process to manipulate it that way, and to learn how the material moves, and then to try to, I suppose, have some control over that movement. And to an element, skill building as well. I wouldn't say that my work is necessarily skill focused, but I am interested also in periods of developing skills that help to improve and have more control over the material. So I think it's just that endless quest for learning and mastering a material.